John Jay and Marbury vs. Madison by Jeremiah and Nathan. John Jay was born on December 23rd, 1745, in New York City. John Jay came from a wealthy merchant family. His ancestors were known as French Huguenots. In his early childhood, he had 10 siblings. However, 7 of them only were able to survive childhood. John Jay, when he was young, was taught by private home tutors his entire life. His parents always provided all the money. He then later attended King's College. From there, in King's College, he then began his career as a lawyer. After graduating from King's College, John Jay still served as a lawyer. He was also asked to serve as an ambassador to Spain during the American Revolution. He also wrote a series of essays along with co-authors Alexander Hamilton and James Madison, and later known as the Federalist Papers. After the establishment of the new American government, John Jay was then later appointed by George Washington himself. He was appointed in order to become the first Chief Justice of the United States. After serving as the first Chief Justice of the United States years later, John Jay decided to step down. Instead, he decided to serve as the governor of New York. That lasted until 1801. From 1801 and forward, he then began to go into retirement. During his retirement, however, he stayed out of the U.S. politics. Unfortunately, on May 17, 1829, John Jay had passed in his farm that was located in Bedford, New York.
Now that you listened to a little bit about John Jay, let's learn about our landmark Supreme Court case, Marbury versus Madison. In the court case of Marbury v. Madison, William Marbury was a nominated justice at the very end of John Adams' presidency. Even though he received Senate confirmation, John Marshall, Adams' Secretary of State, failed to deliver Marbury's commission. Therefore, he had not been legally appointed as a Justice of Peace. So when Jefferson's presidency began and James Madison was made Secretary of State, Madison refused to give Marbury's commission. Marbury then sued Madison, where this case was taken to Supreme Court. This case was brought to the Supreme Court in 1803, heard and voted by on Congress in the January of 1803, and the official opinion was issued on February 24th, 1803. This case originated in 1801 with the end of John Adams' presidency. Adams had named William Marbury a Justice of Peace on March 2nd, 1801. Senate had confirmed him on March 3rd, 1801, but John Marshall failed to give Marbury his commission before March 4th, when Thomas Jefferson was placed into office. William Marbury sued James Madison for withholding Marbury's commission. William Marbury had petitioned for a writ of mandamus, an official judicial order, to answer why Madison denied Marbury's commission. Marbury had filed a lawsuit within the Supreme Court for a writ of mandamus against James Madison. This writ would have forced James Madison to answer why Marbury was denied his commission and would have given Marbury a good chance to be given his commission legally. The Supreme Court had decided that Marbury was owed his commission. However, Marbury was denied it because the Supreme Court had deemed Section 13 of the Judiciary Act, the act that would have granted Marbury's writ, unconstitutional. Ultimately, Marbury was denied his commission and the Supreme Court gained a significant amount of power in the process. One of the reasons why this landmark Supreme Court case is often considered one of the most important is because it decided and gave the Supreme Court the ability to deem laws unconstitutional. This is known to become judiciary review, and this ability helps set up the judicial branch to be on par with both executive and legislative branches of government.